I'm cutting this. I can say whatever I want.
Welcome to Something Feral, the podcast where three friends watch, eat, and talk trash. We're your hosts. I'm Kate.
I'm Brianna.
I am Jester Blaze.
Blazy.
Blazy, my new nickname.
As I dubbed you earlier.
Again, the happy king. That's when it's a good day at court. You're not getting killed. No one's getting stabbed. No poison in any wine.
I performed beautifully.
That's
and
right.
he rode it with a nickname. And a new hat and bag from a sack, if you will.
New attire for the lad.
Oh, yes, he loves when I dance.
Most well deserved.
That's right. A new outfit for me to match my hat with the bells.
Oi, oi, oi. Also,
God help
apologies. I have a cold. It's at the tail end, so my voice probably sounds... I don't really know how it sounds, actually.
You sound kind of like raspy.
Sexy girl. It's me.
Sexy, sick girl.
Sexy girl.
Oh, boy.
Oh, man. Actually, guys, there is something I do want to talk about at the top of the order.
Ooh.
We not only have had over 320 downloads.
Ow.
Excuse you, 34.
Oh my.
Yeah, as of today, yeah.
Wow, I love it. Keep them coming. Thank you, everyone. But actually, one of our biggest and most surprising accomplishments is that, ladies, we officially have not one, but two straight male listeners. I am not including
Our partners.
our significant others who are forced to listen. And I just, it's a good milestone because, like, obviously we do this for, like, the girls, the gays, and the goths. But, like, now we have... y'all know who you are. One of my friends from college and one of my friends who is a former colleague. Shout out to you. Appreciate y'all. You are unicorns.
It's Women of the Year.
You are contenders for Women of the Year.
Dale's going to be so pissed.
Dale is going to be so enraged. But anyway, we've got some straights.
Wow, I'm tipsy. I poured too many shots in that drop.
That was like a hefty pour.
Well, it said it was half the amount of vodka, so I'm like, I'll double the amount in the cup. Because, a normal shot of vodka, I was comparing it to that. I think it might have been more. Oopsie.
I feel good. I've been on my, little sober journey, which has been lovely. I'm keeping the train rolling with the exception of tonight.
That's right.
Wow. Oh, wow. Sick, sexy time. I'm sorry, I'm hogging the mic here, but top of the order.
New?
We've got, damn, drag me.
We can't start fighting yet. We just started.
You know what? It's so funny. Dr. Panda and I were talking and she was like, oh, I hate the sound of my voice. I hate hearing my voice played back. And I was like, I don't. And she was like, that tracks.
I will say the mic recordings feel more like the voice I hear in my head than I would say like
Teams.
Yeah, or like other situations where I've had to listen back to recordings of myself. This is the most close
to what you picture.
Yeah, this isn't as bad. I think I don't know what it is, but like Teams, I want to kill myself.
No, because we record our meetings where we work and it is hell. I have to skip over myself because I'm just like, who let this 5-year-old work here?
You know what? It's never even bothered me then.
Really?
I feel like that's such a classic thing that people don't like is the sound of their own voice.
You know what? I'm hard on myself about so many other things. I'm like, my voice is fine. Like, I'm not a singer, but like.
Oh, you are a singer.
You are a singer.
You are a singer. You guys have all heard her rendition of Celine, so.
I had forgotten that I subjected the people to that. No, but I do want to, circulating it back to Dr. Panda. I'm just going to read this verbatim because I received a listener complaint.
Oh, our first complaint, our first hater?
And of course it's her.
This last week she gave us gifts. This week she's sending us complaints.
She keeps us on our toes.
All right.
Listening to podcast and I must write in a formal complaint. I strongly believe that a cornerstone of being a long-haired girl is having your identity and sense of self entangled in your long, layerless flop of hair. New text. Brianna's mom tried and failed to create a long-haired girl because Brianna did not identify by her hair, in parentheses, and generally did not give enough shits.
Oh.
And I said, I'll share this on today's episode because she came up with this definition and together we've built upon it. But at the end of the day, she's the arbiter of the term long-haired girl. So yeah, just for what it's worth, she agrees with your initial take.
Thank you, Dr. Panda. I appreciate that.
We appreciate your medical advice.
Should we have her on as our medical expert?
Absolutely, we should. Anyway, thank you, Dr. Panda, for your feedback. We are always accepting listener feedback.
I mean, Dale gives it to me all the time.
Maverick will occasionally give feedback. He did not enjoy our latest reel, but he also doesn't listen to lyrics when he listens to music.
I swear to God, that's a guy thing. Does Jeff do that?
Oh, Jeff said the same thing. He's like, I don't get it. And I'm like, we're killing our peep husband and we're all covering it up because we're friends. He's like, oh, okay, the song's about that. Now it's funny. I'm like, huh?
It's nutso.
Same thing with Dale. Dale's like, oh, I just like don't really listen to lyrics. I'm like, well, then what are you listening to?
Well, yeah, why do you even have music on?
As musicians?
As artists? A cellist.
Guys, maybe that should be one of our videos is me trying to play the cello. I have my cello.
Oh, yeah.
After all these years.
You guys, it's been years since I've touched my, like, I restrung it,
Yeah,
but
we're not doing this. You're still good at music.
No, dude, I'm telling you, like, you lose so much.
Bullshit.
I don't remember how to read music anymore.
I think it would come back to you quicker than you
You
think.
think?
Yeah.
I picked it up a few years ago, and I would like to play. Like, it is a goal of mine. It's been hard to find the time, but it's interesting because, like, you don't forget where everything is. You don't forget, like, how to play, but it's like the physicality of it. Like, you remember where all the notes are. You remember all of that, but it's like the bow strokes was the hardest for me. I was like, how did I know how
Yeah.
to time this? Like, I felt like clunky.
And can I even hold my arm up for that long anymore? I don't know.
You know what? Jeff makes you work out, so I bet you could.
That's true.
With a cello, you're sitting.
Well, that's why I picked it. I wanted to play the bass.
You would have hated that. You had to stand the whole time.
Your hands are way too small, too.
That's also why I couldn't play bass. My hands were too small. Yeah. They like were like, sorry, ma'am. I was in 5th grade.
I mean, yeah, I feel like for any 5th grader, it's got to be tough. You just got to find like the biggest kid.
Yeah, basically. So no, I ended up, well, I wanted to play the flute.
Me too. Everyone wanted to play the flute.
Or the harp. I was like really into the harp as a kid, but a harp wasn't an option.
With her elven hair.
My elven hair stringing a harp.
I feel like your parents would have really encouraged the harp.
Yeah.
But like harp wasn't an option in 5th grade.
No, but like I feel like you would have had one in your home.
No.
Like if you told me like my parents had a harp and like I took like harp lessons, I would absolutely believe that.
Yeah. All right. We want to jump into feral behavior?
Should we jump into trash and treasure? Anything else at the top of the order?
Last time you did this to me, you yelled at me.
I'm sorry.
We have a segment order.
That's right. We have rules for a reason. I'm sorry. I'm out of it. I had a sip of that coffee liqueur and I'm a different person.
Oopsie. I'm not sorry.
So I'm going to do a feral behavior today that is from my college days. And this one is a little sensitive. There is some mental health situations in this one. But the core of the story is actually very funny. So I did primarily most of my college here in Michigan. I commuted. I like didn't live in a dorm or anything. And then for my senior year, I moved to Chicago and I was 21, but I decided that like I didn't know anybody in Chicago really. I didn't really have like a baseline there. So I decided to stay in the dorms.
I would argue you are both honorary CMU alumna.
Fire up chips, baby.
I had the most fun there.
That's the place I partied.
Yeah, it was. That's why I haven't shared any stories yet. We're still looking into the statute of limitations for a lot of my adventures.
Our time. I went to art school, so I did not go to a big party school either for a senior year. So I was put into, these were like apartments. They were not traditional dorms like this university is a strong
I was
word.
going to say, wow, that is
They basically rented out a building.
Real quick, was your college one of the ones in the DeVos lawsuit?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It does not exist. It still exists, but the school's no longer a for-profit situation. It got bought, and now it's a non-profit.
So it was a for-profit at the time, in quote, college, in quote, university.
Yeah. Hey, it was accredited when I went, and I do have a degree. I have a bachelor's degree, but it wouldn't hold up in court. You know what I mean?
You earned a bachelor's degree. Would it count now? Unclear. No way to know.
No. And like, to be honest, like college degrees, like my college degree, I have a degree in graphic design. I'm not doing anything related to graphic design anymore. So like, it's fine. Kids, if you're listening.
It's a key that opens a door.
Right, exactly. So it was an apartment and it was a 4-bedroom apartment. So there were 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. It was like a pretty cool setup. And it was in an old, like, either radio or telephone factory.
Yeah, they had to make up for the school not being real, so they gave you a cool living space.
So it was like, the ceilings were 12, maybe 14 feet high. They were really, really tall. And there were, like, big metal and concrete, like, columns throughout the apartment, all brick, and it was just really cool. And one of the roommates I had, most of them were like 18, 19, so majority of them were younger than me. But one of the women that I roomed with, and we'll name her Esme. Yeah, we'll call her Esme. So one of them, Esme, she was a little bit older than 18, but she just was kind of a little off when I first met her. So like the first time I sat down and like introduced myself to her, she told me about her unborn child. Now, mind you, she was not pregnant at the time, and I had met this woman maybe 4 minutes beforehand. And so it just was like really like a lot of oversharing.
Hot start.
Hot start. Yeah, really hot start. And over time, like she just always had sort of like some weird little like moments and things. But like this was art school, so like
We're all a little weird.
everyone's a little
Quirky.
off. She also had an obsession with Dale because Dale was from Indiana.
That's why.
Yes, literally, that's why. And I guess she lived in Indiana at some point. She was from Wisconsin, so I don't know why she was so obsessed with Indiana. And she like bought a book about jokes about Indiana and was like so excited to talk to him about it. It was just like stuff like that. It was just like really odd. And so over time, like just some kind of odd things happened. At one point, she spent like 3 weeks on our couch just watching Little House on the Prairie.
Oh.
Just 20 fucking 4 hours a day. She laid on that couch and watched Little House on the Prairie.
So she was going through it.
She was going through it, and like it's a shared space, right? Yeah. Like I'd go to class, she was on the couch. I'd come home, she was on the couch.
Odd choice for a show.
Oh man, that is part of college that like you just cannot be prepared for, is like a roommate that you don't know what to do with.
Yeah, and so we were starting to like kind of get concerned about her, and like so we had reached out to the resident advisor team and was like, hey, like she's not going to classes, and we just kind of sent a letter like, hey, we're a little concerned about her behavior. Then things kind of took like an even more sour note. And there was one weekend, and Dale lived in, this is actually how I met Dale. Dale also lived in this dorm.
Wait, was he the RA?
He was one of the RAs.
That's right.
Yeah, he was one of the RAs. And Dale always says that the reason, like, at least let me rephrase that. I always joke with Dale that the reason that he even liked me was because I was over 21 and like everybody else in the dorms was, 18.
Oh.
But again, there were a lot of people that were like of age and were not of age. It didn't matter. I mean, Dale was 27.
Sorry, I'm just
Oh my God.
I'm also just picturing the note that I put on my senior pictures that I found that I put in Dale's wallet. Sorry. Just for the listeners, I found my senior pictures and I wrote a note on the back of it that said, can't wait to turn 18, and put it in Dale's wallet. My hope is that he would like drop it when he was paying for something somewhere. He was really upset when he found it.
He was really upset when he found it.
Anyway, sorry.
Yeah. So, anywho, there was one of these weekends, and she was the only one that was going to be in the dorm over the weekend. So, one of the other roommates was out of town. I think the other one went home for the weekend. I was spending the night at Dale's most of the time at that point. And the night that I was heading over to Dale's, there was a knock on the door, and there was a guy, and his name was John. Let's say his name was. And John was like, just, this guy looked like a ghost. I mean, he was so white. He had like white hair.
It was an old building.
Just
Maybe
like
it
a
was.
creepy, weird, ghosty person. Okay. And not like, I don't know. He's just a weird guy.
Not the hot kind, were you about to say?
Not the hot
Not
ghost.
a hot ghost.
Not a hot ghost. A really like weird ghost. So he was coming into our apartment to hang out with Esme when I was walking out to leave. So the weekend goes over and we all get back from whatever we were doing over the weekend. And we get a letter from the building saying that we received a noise complaint on, I think it was Friday night. And we're like, well, nobody was here. How could we have gotten a noise complaint? So that was kind of weird. And we're like, that's all right, whatever. Like, it wasn't a big deal. We hadn't had any other issues and we didn't have any like strikes against us.
You thought it was just like a mistake?
Yeah, we're like, okay, maybe it was a different apartment, whatever. We didn't think anything of it. Well, very quickly after we got home, we noticed on one of our concrete columns, there was like a piece of metal that was like wrapped around it. And it was like oxidized. So like it was matte. And there were 2 handprints.
Oh, no.
Like sweat, I have to imagine, into
Just like
the metal.
embedded into the...
Like some sort of oil, like it was just like 2 perfect handprints. And so we were like, what the fuck are those?
The ghost, he came. He came back.
Well, that was what we
Someone
thought.
came.
So we were like kind of like playfully razzing, because it was very clear that she kind of had a crush on this guy. And so we were kind of playfully razzing Esme, like, oh, I was like, hey, like you were like, I saw him come over, like we were all gone. You guys, like there was a noise complaint. Now there's these
handprints.
There's these handprints. Like, did you guys like, you know, and we were all just kind of like very gently and playfully, like college. We all got along, like college roommate razzing.
Until.
And she decided that that was not okay. And she grabbed me by the throat and pushed me up against the wall.
Yikes.
And then like was like, ha ha ha. And we're like, oh, okay, that Esme, like we were just kidding. And she's like, oh, okay. She kind of calmed down. Really, again, a pretty aggressive reaction. And so we were like, what is going on? So again, we wrote another letter to be like, hey, Esme's behavior is kind of escalating. Again, she's not going to classes. She's overreacting to situations. Like, we have concerns, So time goes by and they're like, thanks, we'll take into account. So one day I come home and I was the only person home, and there is our he wasn't an RA, he was like above an RA. I don't know what they call those.
It's like an I remember the acronym. It's RHD. Maybe it's like resident hall director or something.
This guy was employed. Like, he was not like a student. He was employed by the school.
Yeah, employed by the university. Well, employed by the school full time.
Yeah. And it was him and Esme's mom. And they were in her room. And I was like, hi, what's going on? And the resident director, I guess that's what we'll say he was, the RD, was like, oh, don't worry about it. But Esme's mom just basically starts talking to me about everything that was going on. And the resident director is clearly like, shut up. He was like really weird about it.
Wow.
So come to find out, the reason that they were there that day is because Esme was being committed.
Oh, wow.
Because Esme had been hearing voices because Esme was off of her medication.
Oh, boy.
Oh, no.
And so Esme's mom is telling me all of this. Now, mind you, Esme's mom is like, oh, yeah, she called me. She was starting to hear the voices again. So we had to drive all the way down here to come get her. And
you're like, I'm sorry, can I ask for some clarification here? The voices and again are where I'd like to start.
Yeah. And she's like, we've been trying to get her to take those meds consistently. But, we thought college was going to be a good place for her. I'm like, so let me get this straight. You sent your daughter, who's hearing voices, to just a college, a state away?
By herself.
My gosh.
Knowing no one.
That's feral behavior.
That is bad feral. And again, I'm not a parent, but I don't think that's something I would let anybody do if it were up to me, right? You have to, let's make sure you have a handle on things. And your mental health's not your fault, but it is your responsibility. Let's make sure everything's
especially your parents.
In a good place. Yeah, that's their job, especially. And it's just wild. Too many people whose parents just were when they had mental health issues, were just nah, just go away to college. Few states away, not a problem.
Yeah, this is not the only one.
No, yeah, a disproportionate amount of parents who pulled that shit.
Yeah, so basically her mom was telling me again, and you could tell the RD was uncomfortable because I'm not supposed to know any of this. They also didn't really want us to know because, and we found out, they're like, oh no, she's coming back. And we're like, well, that's great and all, but who's going to make sure that she's that's not it can't be our responsibility to make sure that she's taking her medication and is mentally well. Not even just that, it's not not our responsibility. But basically they told us it doesn't matter. We can't do anything about it because she's it's protected, which I get, which is fair.
And you weren't saying we can't live with her.
No.
You were just hey, is this girl going to be okay?
Yeah. Am I going to get attacked again?
Also that.
We were we're not sure that this is the best environment for her. Because, and at the same time, so congruently, my other college roommate, she was also getting kicked out around the same time because so we always joke with you, Blaze, that you drink a lot of pop.
Yeah.
This girl drank probably 3 full 2 liters a day of Pepsi.
Oh, that hurts my teeth.
She was never without a Pepsi in her hand. She drank so much Pepsi to the point that
that's heart attack territory.
She was up all night, every night, and then would sleep through all of her classes. So she just wasn't attending school.
As a pop drinker, I drink 2 a day and I'm like, wow, that's a lot. That is so unsettling.
So this was happening congruently.
You're like, where the fuck school am I at? I'm starting to see why I got shut down.
Fuck.
No, you know what though? There are people just like that at my school. So there are weird people everywhere, and you always find them in college.
We knew that it was she can't possibly be doing well in school. If this person isn't passing your classes because she's not attending, there's no way Esme is.
Low-key, Esme gets straight A's.
I mean, maybe at this school, but
yeah.
So we write another letter and we're we don't think it's right of her to come and move back in here.
You're literally in danger.
Right. She'd already kind of been a little physical with me. The laying on the couch doing Little House on the Prairie for weeks on end. Not even is it not fair to, again, college age students to be put into an environment where they might feel responsible for somebody else's mental health. But I couldn't do any fucking studying.
Not with that show on. Didn't you all have your own rooms?
We did have our own rooms.
She could have watched it in her own room, yeah.
Well, it turns out we got bed bugs.
Oh my God.
Because she would eat. She was also like at one point she was in her room all day, every day. And so like things never got like, it was pretty bad.
Oh my God. What a nightmare.
So anywho, they're like, we're not legally allowed to do anything. Like I'm like, can you guys maybe have a counselor? Right? Like we're just like, what support system can be put in place for her so that we're not like,
Can someone come check on us?
can someone
and
come
make sure
check
we're
on-
okay?
Yeah, like, and her. Nope, nothing. Well, it turns out she never came back.
Oh, I hope she's okay.
Well, I know she's okay.
Oh.
Because, and I didn't mention this earlier, but she was a photography student. And when you're in art school, like you sometimes need like your like friends or your roommates to help out with projects. For example, when I was even here at school, like I did a lot of like photo shoots with my photographer friends because they just needed bodies. We did it all the time. And so she needed to take some photos. So she took a bunch of photos of like me and the other roommates as well, like all in the dorms. Again, not
Her
like
muse.
just like normal shit. Oh yes, muse is the right word. Because several months after she never came back, she had taken one of the photos of me. Now, mind you, we were not friends on Facebook. I think she was friends with Dale.
Yeah, I bet she was.
Come on, Dale.
She took one of the photographs and she drew me from it with pencil.
Draw me like one of your French girls. Were you clothed?
It was just my face.
Oh, God.
But when I tell you, you couldn't tell it was me. It was so bad.
Be like if I drew it.
Yeah, basically.
Oh, wow, harsh. Okay.
I mean, I wouldn't say it was like, you know, it wasn't like just squiggly lines. I'm just saying she was like not a trained or like talented artist necessarily.
Just like me.
I went to art class with you in high school.
Okay, well, I took drawing senior year and it wasn't, let's just say I wasn't training to be a drawer.
A drawer?
I don't know. A professional sketch artist.
There you go.
Is that better?
Yeah.
I took it instead of math. I found that legal loophole and I had a good time.
So, yeah, long story short, after she got out of the commitment period, I think at that point she had failed too many classes because she wasn't showing up. So I think she ended up going back home because they failed her out. Not because her parents decided that it was probably not the right move to ship their like adult child that was not capable of taking care of themselves.
Right, like, I'm sorry, but at 18, you're still a kid. And it was just so stupid to do.
College is just like an incubator for like
Mental illness, yeah.
Oh, I was going to say adult children, but like, yes, and.
Yes, and, yeah.
Trying to be adults, but we're still idiot kids.
Feral.
I mean, I'll tell you this. If my school was still in place, it would absolutely be where RFK identifies his folks that are going to go work on the ADHD farm.
On the special farm.
The special farm.
Oh boy, you know what? It's
Let's
good
get
luck
into
trying
that.
to good luck trying to yield any crops with a bunch of ADHD people
Off their meds.
off
Good
their
luck.
meds on a farm. Okay,
you
yeah,
imagine?
Godspeed.
No. Okay, just imagine you and I unmedicated on a farm. Kate, I feel like you'd be able to pull your weight. You're just too hard of a worker.
She's sturdy.
Somebody would have to say, Kate, you can't do that. And you'd be like, yes, I can.
Watch me do it the best.
Yeah.
It's the stubbornness.
The spite, yeah.
Despite the vengeance.
The spite, being outside, and the physical challenge.
Yeah, it'd be like a workout. You'd be outside, like, and somebody told you couldn't do it. It's the perfect storm.
Okay, that is certainly true. But like, also, I need to share. I don't. It's like a mini feral behavior, maybe like anti-feral. I don't know. Like, classify this how you will. But like, one of my first memories is going on a preschool field trip to a farm. Like, we didn't grow up in like a farming community, so like,
No.
we obvious. I don't listen to us. Like, anyway. But one of my first memories, I was really young, like preschool or kindergarten. I think preschool though, because we went on a field trip to a farm, and my dad went with me because he was working. Like, his schedule like allowed for him to do a lot of it. I think he was working midnights at the time, and he went with us on the field trip. And I remember everyone was so excited to milk a cow. They're like, okay, you can milk the cow now. And I was like, I am not touching it. And my dad was like, Catherine, like, you have gloves on, because it was cold. It was in the winter. And he was like, Catherine, you have gloves on. Like, you don't actually have to like touch it. Like, you know, because he could tell that I was just like grossed out about touching the udders. All the other kids were like running up there, and I was just like, no. And I remember thinking, like, you know, like when you're a kid, you want to do what your friends do or whatever. But I remember having this moment where I was like, no, I don't care that everybody's doing it. I just have no desire. Like, this just isn't for me. And like, it is good, honest, hard work. And like, I have so much respect for people who do that, but like, it is just not for me. And again, if this man thinks that like a bunch of people with ADHD can go and yield some crops
In depression? Good luck.
yeah, people with depression and ADHD
I
are
would
going to
just
yield.
lay down in I'd dig my own little hole and just lay it in.
I know where I'm going. I'm going to go to the barn and I'm going to find the cats. And they're going to flock to me and I will get them all
If
to
you
attack
had to do
him.
one job on a farm, what would you want it to be?
What kind of farm is it?
Like I'm talking about like
A general farm.
a general like not it could be anything, right? Like if it was considered farm work, what farm work would you want to do?
Can we do like ranch work? Like, can I ride horses? Horse girl.
That wouldn't be your job. That's not a job.
Oh, that's just something I had to do.
Yeah, that's like Yellowstone. I'm talking about like a traditional Michigan farm.
Midwest farm.
I don't know that I know the tasks to think of them.
I'd like to do something like somewhat physical. Like,
I could see you on a tractor.
I could do some tractor driving. I would like to. I could. Could I? I don't know. But
I drove a tractor.
I don't think I've ever driven a tractor.
I drove it was essentially a tractor because we have one.
It was essentially a tractor. You've never driven a tractor.
No, it's like a Caterpillar. Like it was another, like it was at Dick's. I used to.
Construction equipment doesn't count.
No, okay.
Yeah, this is a farm.
We're talking about a farm.
They use similar equipment.
How dare you scold me for asking if I could ride a horse? And then you're like, well, I have technically, driven.
I did not scold you for wanting
bulldozer.
to ride a horse. I'm just saying it's not necessarily something that, like, that's too fun.
Yellowstone is a farm.
Okay, wait.
You driving a bulldozer is also too
What's
fun.
more
It doesn't
likely
count.
on this RFK farm?
Oh, God.
Riding horses or using construction
Milking
equipment?
cows.
We're just going to have to pick fruits and vegetables, probably.
I was going to say, can I like pick apples? Is there an apple tree?
Apples are good because you're not in the sun so much. That's a good one.
I would like to pick something from up high. Like, I don't want to.
I like to be in the trees. I can be in the
It
trees.
is such hard work. Like, shout out to everyone truly picking our food.
Just to be
Like,
clear,
you-
I'm not saying any of us are capable of this work.
That's what we're saying. We are not capable.
Yeah, I think I'd like to pick something on a tree. Because it is like hard, grueling work picking stuff in the ground. Like, shout out to everyone like putting food on our tables and doing that hard work. Like,
yeah, certain foods are just a nightmare to try and harvest.
yeah, and like those people keep our country going. What would we do? I don't know. Nothing productive.
Oh, I'd eat my like 3 cucumbers I produce a year for my backyard.
I could pick blueberries. I've picked blueberries before recreationally. Yeah, I think picking blueberries is my answer.
I think apples is a good one, Blaze.
Or riding horses, but apparently that doesn't count.
Well, neither is riding construction equipment.
Yeah.
Here's the
correct.
question. Is someone with neurodivergency, if that's a word, are they in charge too? Do we have a leader? Because
I doubt it.
or do we pick a leader?
No, they wouldn't give us that much choice.
That is true.
No, I will say though, right after I got laid off, I went on a field trip to a farm with Gillian. And I was like, I could do this. I could chicken.
I could chicken.
chicken.
Oh, that's not. Don't sign me up for chicken duty. Wow, no, thank you.
But in general, I was just like, I'm just going to ask if they're hiring. Who cares? I was in a dark place.
She already signed herself up for that farm.
I know. Why are you doing RFK's work?
What the hell?
Oh, we need to have a talk.
That's where you got the idea.
Uh-oh. We've got a rat among us.
Wow.
They had donkeys. They're so cute.
Okay.
What do donkeys even do?
Don't sign me up for donkey work. Don't sign me up for chicken work. Like, I want to pick the blueberries.
Okay.
I could like walk around and like feed the animals, like sprinkle some feed. I'm a good sprinkler.
I don't want to like shovel their poop. Like,
No, not poop, just feeding.
just feeding.
Yeah. If they shit, that's none of my business.
That's not my business. That's not my job. I'm picking blueberries.
No, there's a
We've talked
shit
about this.
scooper and it's not me.
I will say I could probably do like, depending on what, like some sort of like larger scale harvesting too.
Like on a tractor?
Like on a
Yeah.
tractor. Yeah, you're not picking strawberries.
No, I don't want to do anything like with
Or
fine motor
potatoes
skills.
with like a hoe. You could never.
I could never.
But a giant motor would be better? With like blades?
Yeah, I think I'd be comfortable on that.
I don't know if I'd be comfortable with other people on there.
My friend who grew up in farm country, like, people would die on, like,
I'm aware, but like again, we're in a labor camp.
oh, God.
Maybe the riskiest job is the smartest job.
We are so doomed.
It's so dark.
Dude, I'm a double downer. I'm on an SSRI and math.
Good luck.
Godspeed to you. You know what? It's just, okay, like, and I know that, like, fact checking has become, like, out of vogue in this country in the last decade. But, like, politics aside, if you just look at the history of this man's family and how they treated mental illness, like, it was never good. It was never right.
The lobotomy? Jesus Christ.
The reason, like, the Americans with Disabilities Act was signed into law is because JFK learned what his dad did and was so horrified and was like, people need rights. And
Maybe we should be involved with the creation of them so that we can at least be the leaders.
I don't want to be the leader of a bunch of people off their meds.
If we have to go
thank you.
somewhere.
No, if they die, it's going to be our fault. If they get run over by the till,
Oh, God. Okay, trash
anyway,
and treasure.
take your meds.
take them all you can.
Take them all you can. we are just God's
We're
silliest
on one
geese.
tonight. Yeah.
Our mental illness is showing.
Neurospicy, as they say.
I don't like that one.
You know, I don't know how I feel about it, but a lot of people use it, and I'm like,
That one's funny. I like it.
It's not derogatory.
I will say, speaking of derogatory terms,
Okay.
Oh boy.
for Trash and Treasure, I would like to dive into our segment where I watch the OC.
Hell yeah, take us away. I'm so
Because
excited to hear
they
your
throw
thoughts.
around the R word in that show
Oh yeah, it's so bad.
a lot.
Watching TV from like the early 2000s that's like the worst part.
Well, here's the thing. Was hearing it a lot in ER too,
Ooh.
because it's in the 90s, but it was just like the medical term at the time, unfortunately, which was like, again, gave me like the ick, but it was like, okay, I guess like, you know, at that time that was more the
Right.
nature of the time from that perspective. But like hearing it like in a teen's mouth
as like a slur.
as a
yeah.
slur was rough.
Yeah, that's bad. And also in the first episode, Marissa, her boyfriend, like makes a gay joke at Seth. And I'm like,
they throw the F word around all the time.
Yeah, that's right.
That's bad.
Yep, they use that in ER too, but again, like, it's 2003 was a little later, and in general, it felt like, again, that was a little hard to watch. But I will say, so I have thoughts. First things first, on a personal note, I watched Marissa's character, and I was like, oh, I totally get where our one friend in high school got her fake alcoholism.
Absolutely. That was definitely her muse.
Very inspired. I was like, did she just steal this from this TV show?
Yes.
yes.
Like, it was very funny. And then secondarily, I was genuinely like, my mouth dropped when I saw that the show was only fucking 4 seasons long. I would have thought, based on like the years of like lore I've heard about the show, it was like at least 7-8 seasons.
Well, seasons used to be much longer, like 20
That's
episodes.
true. There's like 27 episodes a season or something
because
like that.
it's like, I was shocked at like it only be because you're like, oh, it gets really rough
after season 2.
Yeah, so I was like, what the fuck? 2, 3, I guess. I don't know what number I'm on. These are not teens.
No, Misha Barton was the only teen, I think, when they filmed.
Ryan is 25. I'm like, these are
You can tell.
grown people.
He's like a 5 o'clock shadow.
I mean, that's like Euphoria now. Those are all adults.
They're like our age.
Yeah.
So funny.
It was just like they just take this kid in. I kind of was like, okay, whatever. And then it was like, Seth is just basically they're like, you know what? Our weird kid needs a delinquent friend to make him realize what poor people go through.
Yeah. And
It's like, what the fuck?
Seth is supposed to be a love interest. Like he's one of the ones, and you'll see like people, it was like a whole thing, like Seth and Summer, and you know, like everybody loves Seth, but like he is so whiny and so angst. He reminds me of someone I dated in high school.
But I was just like, I know it's meant to be like, oh, these rich people and their problems, boo-hoo. But I was like, the premise of this is nuts.
The way he just like episode 1, Sandy just takes Ryan in, like he's, for people that don't know, he's a public defender, and he realizes Ryan is smart, and he's like, oh, like if he's smart, like if he just had a good home, like he could do well. Like I'm gonna take him home with me.
Make him be friends with my son.
It's just so weird. And the mom's like, what are you doing? Like you can't just bring people home. They're not puppies. Right. And then Seth is like a freak, you know.
And then like, you know what? You don't want to run away or get arrested? I'm gonna put you in this empty model home. Yeah. Like what the fuck?
To be fair, that does sound like, because that was a teenager who made that decision though, so that is
True.
a teenage level decision. And like, oh, there's some space for you. Like
I'm trying to put myself in also the headspace of being a teen watching this, because like as an adult, I'm like, this is like teenage shit.
It hit different as a teen, I will say.
It did.
I will
It so
absolutely
did.
say I'm doing my best, so like please keep that in mind.
I was like, wow, I want this to be my life so bad as
Of
a teen.
course.
the way I wanted to not be Marissa Cooper because her family was the worst. Yeah, no rules. She took a Chanel bag to school every single day.
She threw like a fashion party just for fun, like a fashion show. And oh my God, Summer and her outfit, her blue
Oh my God,
her blue eyeshadow is so bad.
They
good.
show Summer's house in the later seasons too. It's like unhinged, but like, yeah, and the way I wanted to be with Ryan Atwood, like to be Marissa Cooper and not like the parent stuff. Because talk about the worst parents of all time. Brianna, you're not even ready for that.
Oh my God.
You are not even
Marissa's
ready.
parents, dude.
Oh, they're both criminals.
I'm gonna tell you something very funny. And the actor,
I know what you're gonna
reminds
say.
me of
Our friend's dad.
our friend's dad.
Yeah, hell yeah.
But our friend's dad is hotter.
Yeah, because he's not a criminal.
Well, and he's also
Not
just
a weenie.
generally better looking.
Better looking,
And
hotter.
like, yeah, like character wise, like they're not alike. I'm talking about the actor specifically.
looks.
Isn't
Yeah.
it weird? It's
It's
weird.
really, see, you agree.
No, I knew you were going to say that.
Yes, I'm sorry if you're listening. It looks like your dad.
So, we've always thought your dad was hot. Now you know.
Oh, well, yeah. Kate and I think your dad is hot.
Blaze, you can say it.
No, I just can't think of people in that way that are dads to my friend. Like I can't objectively think. Oh my god!
If they're good looking enough, it doesn't bother me.
I'm gonna throw up.
We're not related.
Anyway,
Yeah, what, why can't we be attracted to him?
Sorry, I can't appreciate
He
someone's
didn't
good
know us
looks.
as little children either, and he was never weird.
No, it's not like he was gross.
Right,
Like,
he wasn't like walking around with his shirt off.
I wish he would have.
I'm so disgusted. I'm so sickened.
Look, I'm sorry. There are just, in this world, there are some good looking people. And you know what? It's nice to appreciate good looking people.
And he was also just like a kind.
He's a nice man.
He's a nice man.
Nice looking man.
Nice looking man. And still looks good.
Yeah, he looks even better. Aging like a fine wine.
Like a fine wine.
Let's go back on track. What were we talking about?
I want to keep going. Oh, now you want us to be on track.
Yeah, for many reasons.
I'd like to keep going down this road.
I would, that road, I would go down that road.
You sick freaks. Jail. Bring back. I'm shame. Shame. Where's my bell?
No, I won't be shamed for this.
Nope.
She silenced my
It ain't
bells on my
wrong.
hat.
This is not a secret.
No. I mean, it can't be. He's just objectively good looking.
Everyone agrees with us, except you, apparently.
I'm just not a freak, and I cannot see it in that way. I would like to stop talking about this if possible.
I'd like to keep going.
Like I said, all night.
Oh
Oh my god, I'm gonna kill myself. This is the end of me. I will die tonight.
Look at me and tell me you wouldn't.
I think when like the rubber meets the road, it might be too weird, but it might not be.
The rubber meets your road.
Oh, God.
There she is.
There
There's
she
Blazy.
is. I knew we'd convert her.
We bring her on board.
I'm sickened. Anyway, what else are your
Trash
thoughts?
and treasure. Treasure, our friend's dad.
Enough!
It also is like nothing happens. And I watched 2 episodes and I'm like, wait, it's over. Like, what? Nothing happened.
What do you mean nothing? You must not have gotten to the end of episode
No, I
2.
did. With the house fire?
The
Yeah.
fire? How do you mean nothing happened?
I just mean like, I don't know.
Dude, their exchange in that model home when he's like, where'd I go? And she's like crying. I was like, oh, when I was like 12, I wanted that to be my life.
See, but like maybe this is me being an adult and not a teen. I was like, you idiots, you don't know each other. What do you mean you're going to sleep in this model home with this boy you don't know? That's the problem.
I mean, of course, now as adults, we watch it. And
I know,
it's
but
like,
I don't have, I think maybe that's what it is.
I think you need to enjoy some of your parenting pills and take a few of those and then watch it.
maybe that's what it is.
Yeah. Did you watch it sober?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe don't do that. I think it'll be more transportive if you're a little buzzed.
I was just like, as maybe it's because like, yeah, I just couldn't relate. But I'm going to have to work harder to get out of a different mindset, I think.
Again, you were thinking too hard. You got to turn your brain all the way off.
Do you know how hard it is to turn this brain off?
No, I get it. Trust me. Trust me.
Get off your meds and watch the shows.
Dude, I'm worse off my meds.
Go to the farm and turn on the show.
I'm not like other girls. I'm worse.
That's actually the other slogan of our show.
Yeah, so overall, I would say I will continue to watch it. Dude, also, I will say when Ryan, so far, Team Ryan, I don't know how anybody could be like into Seth.
That's what's so crazy because like Seth was like the guy for like most of the show. Like I feel like people were like obsessed with him, and I was always like, but Ryan's right
Let
here.
me just be clear. I wouldn't be like, oh, Seth is horrible and gross, and why would
No.
anybody ever like him? But I'm like, if you're gonna pick between the two,
Oh, Ryan all the way. My strong, quiet, tortured boy. Like
that is very much up your alley. And whereas, to be fair, like technically, I do like the nerds.
Yeah, you both like nerds.
We both like nerds. You're not a nerd lover. Maybe that's why we're so into You Know Who's Dad.
oh yeah, he's got a little
When he wears those
sexy
slutty little
academia to him.
glasses.
Oh, those slutty little. You know he looks so good in a sweater vest.
What are you talking about? You both need to go to the farm now.
Is he there?
If he's there,
Oh,
I'm
he's
going.
working on that farm. Ooh, those arms.
On a horse.
Help me.
Oh wow, I hadn't even thought of that. Cowboy, take me away.
Help!
You need help that you can't appreciate. Such a good-looking man.
To our listeners, this is also all true, but like we're doing it just to make you uncomfy.
Get your hand off that mic. That's making me more uncomfy.
Both can be true, and both
Oh
are
my
true.
God.
We love watching Blaze squirm, and I would love to watch that man ride a horse.
Okay, moving on.
So yeah, wait. Would you call the OC trash or treasure?
I have not made a definitive answer on that yet. I do not know yet. But I do have some treasure to share.
Ooh,
So I'll kick off the segment officially with Trash and Treasure. There's a new movie on Netflix. I think it's Netflix. It's called You're Cordially Invited. It's with Will Ferrell and Reese Witherspoon.
is it good?
So Dale said that he read somewhere that it was like just a great turn off your brain and like just enjoy movie. And so he was like the other night, he's like, hey, you want to watch that movie? You want to watch that movie? I was like, Dale, it's not going to be a good movie. And finally I took my parenting pills and we watched it. And it was actually really fun.
Okay, do a rapid rundown. What's it about? Never heard of it.
Okay, so this is a movie about two weddings that are booked on the same day at the same place. And I won't get into the mix-up. That's kind of the fun of it. One of the weddings is a young girl who's marrying her like longtime boyfriend, and her dad is Will Ferrell. Mom's dead, so like the dad and daughter kind of have like a really like close, tight relationship. Part two, the other wedding is a like super like boss bitch, Reese Witherspoon. It's her little sister's wedding. She's also like Reese Witherspoon is like the kind of the black sheep of the family. And so they both like Will Ferrell and Reese Witherspoon like basically show up on the same day for the wedding and find out that both of like all of the events are like crossed and things like that. So essentially antics ensue, but the antics are very funny and very well timed. So yes, I would watch.
Well done.
It also explores like some really complex family relationships, which is interesting in a very like kind of realistic way.
When you say complex family relationships, are you talking like the standard icky brother sister, icky mother son? Are you talking like genuinely like interesting dynamics around like death and loss and
not about death and loss? So I'll talk more about the Reese Witherspoon sister. So she's one of four. It's like this big Southern family. She doesn't really get along with her mom and like her other siblings, but she's really close to this one sister.
Okay, gotcha.
So,
okay.
But this one sister is getting married and is going to have...
violating your time limit.
I know, but is getting married and going to have a baby and is like... So the sister who's throwing the wedding is feeling like she's not going to be like close.
Oh, she's like saying goodbye to her sister and like
No,
away.
not because she feels like she's going to start being more part of the family as a whole, and she doesn't feel like part of that family.
Okay, gotcha.
She's not worried to losing her sister to like motherhood or whatever. She's like, I feel like my sister's going to get close with the rest of our family and I'm going to get left behind.
It does not sound like a turn your brain off movie.
It is, but what I mean by that is like exactly what you said. I'm losing my sister because she's having a family and getting married. Blah, blah, blah. But it really actually was like, oh,
it's
no.
better than that.
It's better than that. It goes above that. Do you know what I mean? And like same thing, the father-daughter is what you would expect, like overbearing dad, but they're really close, but like the daughter can't feel like they're actually honest with each other. And again, very traditional, like expected trope, but does it in a really good way. And same thing with like the antics, because sometimes you get into these movies, you're like, okay, that would never fucking happen.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a scene that you're like, this would never fucking happen, but it's really funny. So yeah, I would say it's definitely a good watch.
Okay.
I'll have to put that on my list.
Blaze, do you have any trash or treasure?
I ain't got shit today.
Treasure, I've started watching this season of Love is Blind. What a romp. And Maverick is really getting into it. He's pretending he's, at first he was all like, oh, blah, blah, blah. But he watched an episode with me the other night and he did say at one point, he's like, all right, like, well, let me know when they like see each other. And I was like, oh yeah,
that's
I got you. Yeah. And then we watched that scene, like one of the scenes where like
so he's just like the classic meme where it's like me watching my, Bravo shows and the husband standing in the background, like watching the whole thing.
Oh, that's literally, my dad will do that with like Dr. Pan and I watch something. He'll be in the background, like The Bachelor, and he'll be like, well, why would she even say that? Or like, why would he do that? Like,
when he's in like the kitchen.
Literally standing in the kitchen, like just far enough away like
to not be involved.
Yeah. But, this season's been, so far, I'm only like 2 episodes in, and I think it's going to be a promising season. Like, so far, so good. I also, too, like, some of these people, like, some of them you can, like, really track right away, like, who's trash. But then there's some, like, just, it's funny to watch, too, because it's, like, you also think about yourself in the context of this. Like, would I like this person if they were, like...
Yeah.
And there's this one guy who's just, like, he seems very nice. I mean, he could turn. That happens. But there's one who, he just has, like... I was like, something about him. I was like, he's just not for me. And Maverick was like, he has Disney adult energy. And I was like, yes, yes. Like this man is looking for like his special princess. And like, I just know like talking to this man, I'd be like, I know what you're looking for. And like, there is a girl here for you, but like, I am not your fairy princess. Like I'm Jafar. and your special princess is out there. But like, it ain't me.
Jafar. Okay.
Yeah. Strong move.
That was the first like Disney villain that came to mind.
Wow.
I don't know. I was just trying to think of like, yeah, Ursula maybe. Like, I am Ursula. I'm not your Ariel. Like, catch me in singing and dancing with all these like weird amphibians I found. Like, that's more my vibe.
On that note, I need to know what the name of the parrot is. Yeah. Is it Iago?
Yes.
I want to be Iago in this.
So I'm Jafar, you're Iago. Blazer, you are Genie?
I don't want to be trapped in a bottle. Hell no.
Fair.
But I do get free, right? At some point?
Yeah, you're eventually free at the end.
Okay, I can be a genie.
I was going to ask you actually earlier when we were talking about this, where does Jeff fall on this line?
Line of what?
Like, does he watch? Because I know you watch Love is Blind because the last season we watched together, you were ahead.
Yeah, he'll watch some shows if there's like cooking on it. Like Below Deck, we love that because like there's a 5-star chef. He loves the cooking. I love the drama, so it's perfect
That's
for
funny.
us.
Do you watch Great British Bake Off?
No, I will never watch a cooking show ever. I hate cooking shows. Actually, they're the worst to me
Oh, Great British Bake Off is cute. Maverick got me into it.
Why don't you like cooking shows? Because I feel like,
because I don't like cooking. I don't want to watch people cook. I hate it.
but this is baking, and the thing about Great British Bake Off is
No.
like sometimes they're really bad, and that's funny.
And they also don't show a lot of the cooking. They show a lot of like the decorating and stuff too.
There's no drama.
Why would I like that? Cooking and no drama?
It might not be for you. Maverick
thank
got
you.
me into it. It's a good winter show. It's just so wholesome.
I don't need wholesome. I need trash.
Sometimes when I watch Great British Bake Off,
So fucking funny.
and they're like critical of it's like you have to make an upside down cake. It has to look like a house and it has to have windows that you make out of sugar.
Okay, that shit's stressful. I don't want to watch people being stressed.
No,
Like,
but these people are not like stressed. It's really funny.
I'm like, how could they be critical of this? Like, it would be a miracle if I could create like 1/1000th of this thing. Like,
No, absolutely not.
no, remember that time we tried to make a cheesecake?
Yeah, it was traumatizing. I dropped it. Cooking has brought me nothing but trauma, and I will not watch it on TV.
Okay, God rest her soul. But I actually blame, speaking of grandmas and their recipes, I blame your grandma in that recipe because I remember so vividly it said 2 to 4 cups of sugar. And I was like, I'm sorry, that is a huge range for a pie crust. Yeah, I was like, what do you mean 2 to 4? Like,
You see? Trauma. It came out horrible, and then I dropped the glass pan, and it shattered after we finally got it right.
that man did not deserve a homemade cheesecake.
We made it for a man? Ew.
Yeah, we made it for your boyfriend at the time who was like obsessed with desserts. He was like a gym bro who like loved desserts.
Oh.
Remember?
No, but wow.
Oh my God, I do. Because I was like, because the crust was giving you so much angst. And I was like, just give him the middle and say you made like cheesecake pudding. Like, he's not going to know. Like, also like the middle was good. Like, and you were like, no, I'm going to make the cheesecake. And it took us forever. At one point, like the oil piled in the middle, probably because we didn't know if it was 2 or 4 cups of sugar.
It wouldn't stick together. Like, it kept sliding around. Like, it had no, like, binding element.
No, and again, this man did not
Horrible.
deserve a homemade dessert. So you know what? It was for the best. Ultimately, we'll have
It
to give it
worked
another
out.
try. Yeah.
The shit you do when you're young, man.
Lots of mistakes at this table.
He was a very nice person. We were just not meant to
He
be.
wasn't that nice.
But he wasn't, like, bad.
He wasn't evil.
He was very intense. Weird.
Yeah.
This is all my fault.
Well, and really quick, can I just say, on the subject of exes, Dr. Panda had an idea. So we were trying to think about how to make it like a bracket system we talked about, for like March Madness.
Yeah.
And Panda thinks that we should pair them up with characters from like Twilight.
Like, who would win?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Is there enough? Some of us have a lot of exes,
Some
according
of us
to
have more
Brianna.
exes than others. So
Not me.
You know what? You didn't have that many, but they made a mark.
I have my husband, and that is it.
No, there were some freaks. There were some freaks
Don't let her
before him.
gaslight you.
Yeah, no, I won't let this stand.
No, I have a couple fun ones.
Fun is a curious word.
Icky and strange.
Icky and strange.
So we're going to jump into our next segment, which is Dumpster Dives. We have it's not really a letter, actually, but it is a poem from the letter writer herself, Bella.
And since I am a performer, I am going to recite it tonight.
The Jester will read us.
The Jester
The
is
poem.
out tonight.
Put the hat on.
Okay.
We demand to be entertained.
Where's my hat? Okay. So here is the poem. Here I go. Written with a pen, sealed with a kiss. If you love me, please answer this. Do you love me or do you not? You told me once, but I forgot. So tell me now and tell me true, so I can tell you I love you. Of all the girls/guys I've ever met, you are the one I won't forget. And if I die before you do, I'll go to heaven and wait for you. If you are not there on Judgment Day, I'll know you went the other way. Oh, no. No. I'll give the angels back their wings and risk the loss of everything. Just to prove my love is true, I'll go to hell to be with you. Oh, my God.
You guys, What a
Wowee.
poem. That was incredible.
That was this is a prize. This should be
was
framed.
a poem. That is a fucking poem.
This also just says that Edward is a sinner. That's all we need to know.
No, this is giving Twilight.
She's worried about his afterlife.
Oh, yeah, this is giving Twilight. I think my favorite part is the
plot twist where she's like, and if you're not in heaven, I'm outie.
You know, she had concerns and she voiced them.
Yeah, she was like, the odds are that you might not make it.
He might not have it. She doesn't have any +1s, apparently.
It seems like she doesn't. Yeah, because she's willing to just...
Well, we know that Edward is her favorite sinner. We aren't sure about you.
I think this speaks volumes to me and what a good friend I am, because I would be fighting to bring you guys. I will argue at those gates to bring you guys in.
She
was just out of there. Yeah,
she
not
was
me.
like, I'm just going to go to hell and be with you. No.
My friends deserve to be in heaven too. I need to speak to the manager.
I have 2 whores that need an invitation, okay?
Look,
they didn't know any better.
I know what it looks like on paper, okay? But you don't know how they lived their lives.
Yeah.
The examples you bring up are very potent ones, but I'm here to argue for them.
So there.
Yeah, I'm a good fucking friend.
Can't breathe.
They didn't bathe in the Jesus water, but that's not their fault.
They couldn't help it. They weren't... It's not their fault that their parents didn't take them to the baptismal pond. I was not baptized in a pond, let me be clear. It was at an altar.
All I can picture is, did you guys ever watch King of the Hill?
No.
Oh, there's an episode where one of them gets rebaptized and they do it in a pond.
Well, you gotta. You can't be in those little baby baths. You gotta be in a big body
No,
of
now
water.
in some of these churches, don't they have pools?
Yeah, but that's not, everyone does it differently, because there are some places where they straight up go to a river. There are some places that go to a swamp. There are some places that go to the ocean. There's some places that you just take a little water to the forehead like a baby. You're
Wait,
not,
listeners,
Should we get baptized?
should we get baptized?
this is blasphemous. And I'm not doing it in a pond either. I'm not taking you guys to a pond.
Kate, will you baptize us?
I'm not qualified to baptize you.
That's kind of the point.
I would like someone that is qualified. I'm a little scared.
You want to get covered? You want to just cover your bases?
She wants that insurance.
I can't get baptized.
Why not? We won't do it in a pond.
You're not gonna burst into
The
flames.
pond's not my issue.
She might shit herself.
I might shit myself, yeah.
You know how she is with ponds.
I can't be submerged in water for too long.
I'm a poor swimmer.
I am a bad swimmer.
No, we're not. I'm saying this pond thing because this book I was reading was just talking about how in South Carolina in the swamps, pond baptisms are kind of common, and that just seemed ponds just kind of really gross me out.
I'm more, if I had to pick between a wave pool.
A wave pool?
What?
Oh my god, one the kids go to.
Yeah, well, that's what happens at Righteous Gemstones. They do that mass.
Oh my god, that's right. That's
Yeah.
right. Oh my god, God, that show is so good.
Oh my god. How many waters are we gonna spill today?
Sorry, Satan, I won't get baptized, I promise.
I don't know. That was the
He has
takeaway.
struck down near Stanley.
It's not holy water in there. You're fine.
Are you all right? We're on one today.
Okay, you guys should get baptized, and we should play the Righteous Gemstones Misbehavin' song when you do it, because that song is a banger.
It is. Oh boy.
All right, should we wrap it up?
We're losing our minds over here. Jesus
I'm
Christ.
hanging on by a thread.
No, don't say that. We're gonna go to the farm. Shut up!
I am fine. Everything is fine. We are normal
ADHD
in the brain.
who?
What's that? ADHD is a choice.
That's for little boys.
Yeah, that's right. That's for hyper little
Women
boys.
don't have ADHD.
And they grow
RFK.
out of it.
That's right. Boys will be boys.
That's what we always say. You're a boy, mama.
Maybe that'll give me higher rank when we get to the farm.
Oh, you're raising a blonde-haired, blue-eyed boy? Yeah, you're in good standing.
She gets first dibs on bunks.
bunks. Oof.
Ooh.
Well, what do you think there'd be?
Yeah, we're not getting sweets.
Yeah, our own rooms? Not at this farm.
When you think United States labor camps, it's never good.
I'm just picturing jail.
It's basically jail. And there's no vaccines here, so everyone's getting typhoid. Everyone's
Or
getting polio.
measles, dude.
Measles, mumps.
is currently in an outbreak. There's a huge measles outbreak in Texas right now.
Of
an
course.
actual concerning outbreak.
Yeah, I think polio's in New York right now. Don't worry, it won't get better.
All right, let's wrap it up, ladies.
On that
I'm
note,
hungry.
Get your measles shots.
What are we doing for dinner?
So we're watching more of the OC, right? Or Love is Blind. Up to y'all.
Love is Blind is more fun with people. Let's watch
True.
that.
Okay. Food? What are we doing for food? Dirty soda.
That
Dirty
is not
soda.
dinner. We need real
That's
food.
okay too. We have popcorn.
No.
Why do I want Chinese food again? I don't know why.
And twist my arm. Maybe we'll talk. But I will say, I have a friend who listens, who's also a big fan of dirty sodas. Shout out to you, my friend. You know who you are. We're not using names. We'll call you Wyatt.
Wrong.
Wrong, Wyatt.
No, we will not. Solidarity. We'll enjoy some together.
You do that.
You know what makes a dirty soda taste even better? When you don't have someone you're bitching about how gross it is.
We stand by what we said.
Yeah, I have no regrets.
You can't ruin pop like that.
I'd like to drink a dirty soda with my friend's hot dad.
I mean, I'd do anything you tell me to.
All right, please send
I have
us
so
off.
much hate.
But first, tell us what your favorite feature on our friend's hot dad is. Yeah. What do you want to see him do on a farm?
Yeah. I mean, shirtless on a horse. Oh.
You said that wasn't real farm work.
In slutty little glasses.
Using a hoe, like swinging it over his
Ooh,
shoulder.
and watching his hand. Just,
yeah. Watching those shoulders. Throwing a bale of hay, just like chucking it into the truck bed. I imagine that's how it goes.
I'm not picturing the farm. I'm not manifesting that shit. I'm not going there. Mm-mm.
Well, this is a fantasy.
Because she knows.
Yeah, because she
Good
knows
luck.
she'd like it.
What are we eating?
I know what I'd like to eat.
I don't even know what you mean. And I don't want to know. I don't know what your sick freak brain is thinking.
His home cooking.
I wish I could put a song on right now.
What song?
Pony.
Oh my God.
Picturing him slow motion on a horse while that song plays. I don't hate it.
You know what I think? I think we can cut all of this out for the podcast if you want,
And
please.
just keep it for ourselves.
We'll keep it for ourselves, but it'll be a video of you and me with Pony over it, with you and me talking about it just as a reel.
We'll make that for Blaze for her next birthday.
That's right.
Wow, so you hate me. That's cool. What are we eating tonight?
Salads?
Oh,
You
God.
know the answer to that.
Okay, I just, sometimes you're more open.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Yeah, I just don't know what would give me joy.
Let's, we don't have to decide right now. We'll talk.
All right, Blaze, wrap us up.
Oh my God.
Jester, take us away.
My
Put the
worst
hat on.
segment.
Put the hat on.
No.
Taking you to the gallows.
What?
You're refusing to
Refusing
perform.
Okay, that's our show. You can find us at Something Feral FTN on Instagram. Why is it so
I know what I want to be at and on.
Shut
You know who's also going to be upset about all this talk? Dale.
Everyone.
No, Maverick's not going to love it. He might think it's funny, though.
Dale's gonna get.
He would understand.
Dale's gonna get jealous.
If he saw pictures, he'd understand.
I think he's also a wee bit of jealousy in there.
Yeah, Dale is always, he doesn't like it when I find other people good looking.
Yeah, so that's our show. You can find us at
Especially not
Something
the
Feral
daddies.
FTN on Instagram, not TikTok. That's Something Feral Pod at Gmail and TikTok. I think. I don't know.
She's distracted.
I am being tortured in my own home, is what I'm being.
I think
I'm not being
this is
tortured.
officially a thing.
100%. I can't wait to keep talking about this.
I can't believe I showed my cards that I am disgusted because now I'm going to
I
be.
think we can convert you. I think if we show you enough pictures.
Okay, that's enough. Off to get feral, or we already have been. See you next week.